Welcome back to Anonymous Achiever. Have you ever been in a situation where someone who hurt, abandoned, or caused you emotional pain suddenly reappears in your life? It's a peculiar and unsettling experience, isn't it? You might have believed their departure was final. After all, when they left, it felt like the end of a chapter. You healed, you moved forward, and yet here they are again, acting as though nothing ever happened. Why would they come back? And perhaps even more importantly, how should you respond to their return? These are questions many of us wrestle with, and the answers aren't as simple as they might appear. It may seem baffling or illogical when someone who once caused you pain seeks to re-enter your life, but the truth is, there are deeper psychological reasons behind this behavior. Often it's less about you and more about their unresolved emotions, fears, or unmet needs. In today's video, we'll explore the psychology behind why those who hurt you might return, and we'll also learn how Stoic philosophy can help you navigate these complicated emotions. Stoicism teaches us a powerful lesson in emotional resilience, emphasizing that while we can't control other people's actions, we can control how we respond to them. Your ability to stay composed in the face of someone's return will determine whether you retain control over your emotions or allow the situation to disturb your peace. Stay with us until the end, because the way you choose to react can either help you heal and grow or pull you back into a cycle of confusion and pain. This video isn't just about understanding their motives, it's about using that understanding to protect your peace and make wise decisions for your emotional well-being. Let's dive into why this happens. Number 1, the power of guilt. Guilt is one of the most potent emotions driving someone to return after causing harm. It's a deeply uncomfortable feeling that often compels individuals to act in an effort to resolve the inner turmoil they experience. When someone hurts you, they may not fully comprehend the gravity of their actions in the moment. Their behavior could have been impulsive, self-serving, or even unintentional. Only later, in your absence, might they begin to grasp the consequences of what they've done. Without you in their life, they are forced to confront the repercussions of their behavior in a way nothing else could make them see. As they reflect, the weight of guilt begins to settle in. They may start questioning their choices. Did I make a mistake? Was it worth it? If they notice you thriving or moving on without them, this realization can intensify their feelings of regret. The thought that they've lost you permanently may become a painful reality, pushing them to seek forgiveness or reconciliation, hoping to ease their emotional burden. However, it's crucial to recognize that guilt as a motivator doesn't necessarily indicate true growth or transformation. Sometimes people return not because they've changed, but simply to alleviate their own discomfort. From a Stoic perspective, the emotions or motivations of others are beyond your control. Someone's return, driven by guilt, is an external event. It's essential not to allow it to dictate your inner peace. As Stoics, we focus on our own growth and maintain our equilibrium, understanding that while others may feel guilt, their feelings are their own to manage. Your peace should remain independent of their emotional turmoil. Number 2, fear of losing you. Another powerful reason someone who has hurt you might return is the deep, often subconscious fear of losing you forever. This fear doesn't always stem from love or a genuine desire to reconcile. Instead, it may arise from the realization that they've lost someone significant in their life. At the time of their departure, they might not have fully grasped your value. Yet, with the passage of time, the void left by your absence becomes impossible to ignore. The fear of losing you permanently can manifest from various emotions. Perhaps they didn't appreciate the depth of your connection until it was gone. Or maybe they took you for granted, assuming you'd always be there. Without your attention, affection, or support, they begin to feel the impact of your absence. The idea of living without you might become overwhelming. This fear can also be triggered by loneliness, rejection, or even seeing you move on and thrive without them. Humans are wired to avoid loss, especially when it involves relationships. That's why some people who once caused you pain may attempt to return. They want to reclaim what they've lost. It's important to understand that their return might not be motivated by regret for the harm they caused. Instead, it could stem from their discomfort with how their world has changed without you. The prospect of becoming a distant memory in your life or seeing you find happiness elsewhere can be unsettling for them. As Stoics, we're taught to detach from outcomes beyond our control. You can't influence their fears or actions, but you have complete power over your response. If someone returns out of fear, recognize it for what it is, an internal struggle that they must resolve on their own. Your peace must remain intact, unaffected by their insecurities or anxieties. Number 3, the cycle of validation. One significant reason someone may return after hurting you is their need for validation. Many people rely on external sources to feel valued, loved, or important. This craving for validation can become a driving force in their behavior, often without them realizing its depth. In relationships, validation serves as more than just a confirmation of worth. It reassures individuals that they matter, are desirable, and can maintain meaningful connections. When someone walks away after causing pain, they might initially feel relief or satisfaction. But over time, they begin to notice a void, an emptiness caused by the absence of the validation you once provided. The love, care, and attention you gave them may have been central to their self-esteem. Without it, they may start to feel unimportant or incomplete. It's only after severing ties with you that they realize how much they relied on your presence to fill their emotional gaps. This realization can drive them back, not necessarily to make amends, but to recapture the reassurance they once received. This cycle of validation often reveals itself in their behavior. They might second-guess their decision to leave, not out of regret for the harm caused, but because they missed the emotional support you provided. In their attempt to fill this void, they may return, not to heal or rebuild, but to seek the same validation they've lost. However, this pattern can quickly turn toxic. It places the responsibility for their emotional well-being on your shoulders, ignoring the damage they may have caused. Returning solely for validation often lacks the genuine intent to address past wrongs, making it a self-serving act rather than a step toward meaningful reconciliation. From a Stoic perspective, validation should never be sought externally. True worth comes from within. When they come back seeking reassurance, remember that your peace and self-respect should not depend on whether they recognize your value. Their return is not a measure of your worth. It's a reflection of their struggles, not yours. Number 4, the test of character. When someone who has caused you pain returns, it isn't just a test of their intentions. It's also a test of your character. This moment serves as a mirror, reflecting how much you've grown emotionally and how well you've cultivated resilience. It's an opportunity to evaluate your ability to rise above past wounds and maintain your inner peace. Think of this as a crossroads, a defining moment that reveals your strength. How you respond to their return will demonstrate whether you've mastered your emotions or remain tethered to the pain they caused. It's natural to feel tempted by anger, bitterness, or even the desire for revenge. But the Stoic approach demands something greater, the ability to remain calm, composed, and unshaken by external events. Stoicism teaches us that we are not slaves to our emotions. While it's human to feel hurt or unsettled by their reappearance, your response should be driven by deliberate intention, not emotional impulse. This is the essence of self-control, the ability to pause, reflect, and act in alignment with your values, rather than reacting out of instinct. Detachment plays a key role here. But it's important to understand what detachment truly means. It's not about being cold or indifferent toward the person who has returned. Instead, it's about releasing any unhealthy attachment to specific outcomes. If they've come back seeking reconciliation, you don't need to rush into a decision or let the emotions of the moment cloud your judgment. This moment allows you to assess the situation with clarity. Have they genuinely changed, or are they simply seeking to ease their discomfort? Are their actions aligned with true growth, or are they merely driven by unresolved guilt or fear? Answering these questions with honesty and objectivity will guide you toward the right course of action. Ultimately, this test of character is about you, not them. It's a chance to reaffirm your commitment to inner peace and personal growth. By staying true to yourself and your values, you'll demonstrate the strength of your spirit, regardless of what they do or say. Number 5. What should you do when they return? When someone who has caused you pain re-enters your life, it can trigger a flood of emotions. confusion, anger, sadness, and perhaps even a sense of longing. You may feel tempted to forgive and forget, to offer them a second chance, or to shut them out entirely. But Stoicism teaches us to approach such moments with emotional detachment and careful reflection, ensuring that our actions align with reason, not impulse. The first and most crucial step is to pause and reflect. Do not react immediately or allow emotions to dictate your response. The Stoic principle of detachment emphasizes creating a mental space between an event and your reaction. Use this pause to gain clarity. Ask yourself, why are they returning? What do they truly want from me? Are their motives rooted in genuine remorse, or are they driven by guilt, fear, or a need for validation? These questions can help you assess the situation with a clear mind. Next, prioritize your own feelings and boundaries. Have you fully healed from the pain they caused? Are you emotionally ready to re-engage with them, or do you need more time to rebuild your peace? Protecting your emotional well-being is paramount. A person's return does not obligate you to welcome them back into your life, especially if doing so jeopardizes your mental health. Lastly, detach from the idea that their return is necessary for your happiness or closure. True peace comes from within, not from the actions or validation of others. Stoicism teaches that by focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, choices, and responses, you retain your power regardless of external circumstances. When someone comes back, remain grounded in your values. Assess their actions with wisdom and objectivity, and make choices that prioritize your emotional health and personal growth. Their return may challenge you, but it is also an opportunity to reaffirm your inner strength and resilience. The return of someone who hurt you is one of life's unexpected and often unsettling challenges. It stirs emotions, questions, and decisions that can deeply impact your well-being. But through the lens of Stoic philosophy, this situation becomes an opportunity for growth, a chance to strengthen your character, assert your boundaries, and remain steadfast in your pursuit of inner peace. Remember, their actions are beyond your control, but your response is entirely within your grasp. By pausing to reflect, setting clear boundaries, and detaching from the need for external validation or closure, you reclaim your power. You are not defined by their return, nor are you responsible for their emotions or unresolved conflicts. This is a moment to reaffirm your resilience. It is an opportunity to stand tall, rooted in the values and strength you've cultivated. Whether you choose to let them back into your life or to leave the past where it belongs, let your decision reflect your commitment to your own peace, growth, and emotional well-being. If you've ever faced a situation like this, share your experiences in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. How did you navigate the return of someone who hurt you? Let's continue the conversation and learn from each other's journeys. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.